What's up, hustlers? Welcome back to another episode of Undercover Hustlers, the podcast that goes behind the grind and breaks down what it really takes to build your vision from the ground up. I'm your host, Jocelyn, and today we're getting into a topic that changed my entire work-life flow: systematizing everything. Yes, everything. We're breaking down how to systematize every area of your life, from how you start your day to how you manage your money, so you can hustle smarter, not harder. Because when you work for yourself, or honestly, even if you work a 9 to 5, you've got to start treating your life like a business. You ever feel like you're constantly playing catch up? Like every day you're reacting to life instead of living it? What if I told you the most successful freelancers, the ones scaling their income, balancing wellness, and actually having fun, all have one thing in common: systems. Today's episode is for the freelancers, the side hustlers, the corporate baddies, and everyone in between. Because no matter what industry you're in, systems will save you. This episode comes straight from my own chaos to clarity journey. So get cozy, open your notes app or grab a notebook, and let's get intentional. So let's talk about it. Why systems matter. Your brain loves routine. Let's start here. Think of the biggest companies in the world: Apple, Amazon, or even Starbucks. These companies have SOPs for everything. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure. If this happens, then that follows. There's no guessing, no panic to wait, what do we do now? It's all a system. Now here's the thing. Your brain loves systems too. Neurologically, your brain seeks patterns and routines because it helps conserve energy. When you turn your life into a set of intentional systems, your brain can stop constantly playing defense and start creating on offense. Did you know that the brain uses up to 20% of the body's energy? Studies show habits form in the basal ganglia, freeing up the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for creativity, problem solving, and emotion regulation. In simple terms, routine gives your brain a break from the little stuff so it can focus on what really counts, like creating, problem solving, and showing up with clarity. Psychologists call it cognitive offloading, when your brain relies on external systems like checklists or routines so that it can focus on creative thinking. So when you create a system, you're not boxing yourself in, you're unlocking a space to actually do the things you care about. Now that we understand the why, let's talk about the where, because systems don't just belong in corporate boardrooms or startup decks. They belong in your morning, your budget, your joy, and even your rest. First up, your morning and night routines. Let's be real. How many of us roll out of bed after doom scrolling through Instagram, rushing your morning shower and not having enough time to put your face on, whether that's makeup or moisturizer? Tummy grumbling because there was no time to even think about breakfast, and then we wonder why our day feels chaotic. There's power in reclaiming your morning and framing it into a system for success. A simple system that helps you pour into your own cup, aka fill your energy tank before pouring into everything else. If you took that 20 minutes and carved out time for these 3 things, I can guarantee your day will go so much smoother. Stretching, journaling, and praying. Break it up however you like. 7 minutes or so on each, or you can do like me, 5 minutes stretching, 7 minutes journaling or setting intentions, and 10 minutes of prayer or meditation. That's it. 22 minutes can literally change your mental, emotional, and spiritual rhythm. Same thing goes at night. Instead of scrolling or binge watching TV, things that may feel relaxing but are actually a huge sucker of your time. Setting up a system is so important for a hustler to make sure that they are always handling everything they need to do. For a night routine, your system could be as simple as eat dinner while watching your favorite show. This will limit you to 1 episode and stop you from binge watching a whole season when you know you have other stuff to do. Read 5 pages of a book. Choose this in your free time to adjust your eyes for sleeping instead of scrolling, looking at bright lights, or stimulating videos. Journal about your day and plan tomorrow's to-do list. Writing things down is the best way to remember them. If you set your intentions with pen and paper, you're more likely to achieve that the next day. Do tasks to make your routine go smoother, such as planning or prepping your breakfast, picking out your outfit, and tidying up the room. Small systems yield big results. When I was working the 9-to-5 life, one thing that I made a part of my mornings was walking or working out. I figured that by the end of the day, I was always too exhausted to work out. I kept making excuses, which led to me being very inconsistent in the gym. In setting up a nighttime system of prep and making sure that I went to sleep by 10 p.m., I was able to have a morning routine of waking up at 6, going to the gym for an hour, so that by 7 a.m., I'm back home and having an hour and 30 minutes to get ready and leave for work. I was much more energized in my morning in comparison to going to sleep later and rolling out of bed. Midday at work, I would always need a dose of caffeine, but I always felt amazing. That system worked for me. It may not be for you, or it may not adjust to your lifestyle, but you have to adopt a routine that works for you. Now, let's talk work, especially for my fellow freelancers and creatives. If you don't have a system, you will burn out fast. As a social media marketer, I live in content chaos. But once I built my personal meeting doc, content calendar, and client trackers, my stress levels dropped dramatically. It holds my notes, my to-do list, my reminders all in one place. I know what hashtags work, what content performs well, and what I need to double down on. No more scrambling or posting randomly just to stay consistent. My system makes the process smoother and more fun. If your work life feels a mess and you're struggling to stay on top of things, here is some actionable advice. This may be a little old school for some people, but invest in your own planner. It can serve as a calendar and a journal. Having a space to plan everything, even just a space for your thoughts, is game changing. I always update my planner to reflect on the days if I go a few days behind. Filling up each day in one place is so helpful for staying on top of things. It's vital for a hustler juggling multiple things at once. Create SOPs for recurring tasks. If you're constantly doing the same things at work, create a training manual for it. At my last job, that's one thing I built that I was very proud of. Because I was a one-woman department, I essentially created a step-by-step guide for how to do my job. If I was on vacation or out sick, someone could use this to cover my department. It also helped me declare the right way to do things in my position. SOPs increased productivity by up to 40% in small businesses, according to Forbes. Keep a content vault with caption formulas, hashtags, and high-performing post notes. This is something I'm currently working on building. Content templates to reuse for posting on any platform, making content creation a breeze for design and editing purposes. On TikTok and Instagram, this is storing bookmarks or favorites of things that I may need to refer back to. When you're your own boss, you have to act like the boss too, and that means systems. You are the one in charge, so you set the tone for how you want things to be done. But don't let work be your whole personality. Let's talk about making a space for joy. This next part is underrated. You need a system for your hobbies. Yes, systems for fun. Because when you're in hustle mode, fun is usually the first thing to get cut. Back when I lived in San Diego, I was drowning in the day-to-day, what I had to do. So I decided to rewrite the narrative. I always loved dancing, so I decided to take a dance class for fun. I did a heels dance class every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I didn't care what else was going on. I was going to that class. It was joy that wasn't tied to money, deliverables, or anyone else's expectations. Hobbies build self-trust and reverse burnout. We are not machines, and even machines need downtime. This is you doing something that you want to do, not have to do. Think back to when you were a kid. What were your interests? Was it arts and crafts, music, or video games? Maybe you love to play outside and be in nature. All of these things can transform into an indulging hobby as an adult. Think about it. You don't have to ask your parents' permission. We got our own money now. You can go to the store, pick up some canvases and paintbrushes, and do a sip and paint with your friends. You could sign up for that music class and learn how to play guitar or piano. Or you can play on that game if you want to. So sign up for the thing. Put it in your calendar. Honor it like a meeting with a client. And speaking of downtime, let's get into the most radical act of resistance. Let's talk rest. Because sleep is not optional, it's foundational. I know the grind culture tells us sleep when we're dead, but that's the fastest route to being unproductive, unhealthy, and unhappy. In college, I took a Black feminism class where I learned about the nap ministry. It blew my mind, and I wanted to mention it here on this episode. If you've never heard of the Nap Ministry, go look it up. Trisha Hersey, the founder, bases her work on the philosophy that rest is resistance and reparation, especially for Black folks. Black Americans and our ancestors have historically been denied rest through labor, through culture, and through survival. So choosing to sleep well is a radical healing act. Cultural trauma has us feeling guilty for taking the rest that our bodies need. Your body is a site of liberation when you're resting. Here's a quote from the Nap Ministry. Capitalism wants you to believe that your body is a machine and it doesn't belong to you. We're saying no, your body is not a machine. It belongs to you. You can rest now and have a divine right to do so. That's grind culture. The idea that your body was made to make money is a crazy concept to get behind. So in Resistance, we set up systems that allow us to rest and enjoy it without the shame and guilt. I'm so grateful for this period of life right now because ever since last August, since I left my 9-to-5, I have not worked a traditional job. And this is coming from someone who's always worked a full-time job throughout high school, through college, and even after college, nonstop. I'm using this time to not only rest, but also to prepare myself for the next chapter, which is moving to New York City, starting a job in my field, a corporate job in my field, I might add, and really activating my professional career. I have an amazing family who supports me and has allowed me to embrace this period of rest. And I'm about to step back into the corporate life refreshed and ready to tackle anything that's thrown in my way. But if your sleeping habits are trash, here's a system you can try. By 10 p.m., put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Anyone who needed to reach you can send a text and you can get to it the next morning. Invest in good bedding. Your bed should feel like a cloud. Replace your pillows every 6 months. Change your sheets bi-weekly and aim for 7 to 8 hours of deep sleep every night. Creating a nighttime routine that invites peace, it makes your rest productive too. Your hustle doesn't have to hurt. You can be ambitious and well-rested. And when you start your day rested, you move through life with more grace, including when you're commuting or traveling. Now for my travelers, whether it's a quick commute or full-on vacation mode, planning and systems still matter. Here's the rule. Always build in cushion time. If the GPS says it will take 25 minutes to get to work, leave 35 minutes before. Nobody wants to be flying into the work parking lot and running to the clock-in station before the clock hits 9:01. If your flight takes off at 2:53 p.m., be at the airport by 1. That means leave at 12:30 to make it to the airport at 1. Always account for that cushion time because you never know what could go wrong. And I'm telling you from experience. I'm not proud to admit it, but I was habitually late to work, to events, really anywhere. This one time I was in Atlanta riding to the airport in my rental car, running a bit late. I still had to fill up the gas tank. And on the turn out of the gas station, I rolled over the curb and had a flat tire. I ended up pulling up to a mechanic shop nearby and they were able to put the spare tire on because I'm just a girl. An hour till my flight leaves, I'm on the way to return the rental and I take the wrong turn. Finally, I dropped the car off, but then I had to wait for the shuttle to the airport. I'm asking people to cut the line at security. I had to sprint to the gate and they were literally calling our names on the loudspeaker like, last call, Joss the Visionary for flight 888. We barely made it and we were drenched in sweat. Never again. So be early. Don't be like me or the old me. Stop rushing through life and airports. Another important way you can make systems out of your travel is to make an itinerary. Pay for things ahead, like your excursions, flights, hotel, even your outfits. You'll avoid last-minute chaos and budget better. Preparation isn't about control, it's about peace of mind. And nothing gives you peace like knowing that your money's working with you and not against you. Speaking of budgeting, listen, you cannot live the soft life or the hustler life if you don't know where your money's going. Money stress can kill your creative flow, but implementing systems will set you free. Track your income and expenses, know your bill due dates, and set up autopay. Pay things early. There's nothing worse than being charged a late fee for a bill or forgetting that bill came out on the 6th. You are not bad with money. You just haven't given your money a routine yet. So moving forward, let's budget with intention. If you make $5K a month and your expenses are $3K, where does the other $2K go? Give it a job, whether it's saving, investing, or getting your nails done. Even your treat yourself moments should be a part of your system. Schedule your self-maintenance in advance. Nails, waxes, massages, even haircuts. All of this should be factored into your budget. At the end of the day, your budget is the blueprint of your hustle. Without it, you're just winging it, and winging it leads to burnout. But creating a system for your money gives you freedom, not restriction. It allows you to plan, save, and splurge without guilt because you know exactly where your coins are going. According to a US bank study, 41% of people say that a lack of budgeting is what's holding them back from financial success. That means building a system around your budget isn't just smart, it's necessary. It helps you make confident money moves and avoids those end-of-the-month surprises that drain your energy and your account. Think of your budget like a GPS. It doesn't limit where you can go. It just makes sure you get there with fewer wrong turns. Systematizing your finances helps you build peace, not pressure. It gives you a space to dream bigger, live fully, and invest in the version of you that's trying to grow. Now, I know what you're thinking. The idea of turning everything into a system might sound overwhelming, but let me talk to my type B folks for a second, especially if you love to go with the flow. Y'all, the type A folks ate a little with this one. Systems protect your peace. They help you show up for your goals. They create space for you, so your life isn't just work, worry, and burnout. Systems don't have to be robotic. They're actually meant to support you, relieve your stress, and give you the space to do what brings you joy. Even this episode, podcasting has become one of my hobbies, and I'm scripting and recording it according to my content calendar. That one system has made my process smoother, clearer, and honestly more fun. I make time for the things that I want to do, and that's the power of routine. So here's your challenge. Pick one area of your life this week to systematize. Just one. Whether it's a morning stretch, a content tracker, or even building out your bedtime routine. Start there. And then send this episode to that friend whose life is a complete fucking mess. I'm just kidding. Don't go flying off the rails here. Send it to a friend who you think could use a little bit more organization in their life, some structure, so y'all can start trying out different systems and seeing what works for you, what works for them, trial and error. Use your community as a resource. Reach out to your parents, reach out to your grandparents or your friends and see what systems they have in their life that works for them. You take what serves you, you leave what doesn't, and in the end, you become a better person. That's it for today's episode of Undercover Hustlers. If this helped you, inspired you, or made you rethink your life systems, DM me your thoughts or send me your new routine. I love to hear what systems you're building. You can reach me on Instagram at undercoverhustlers.pod or TikTok and Pinterest at Joss the Visionary. Until next time, keep hustling with purpose and don't forget to make room for you.